So a few weeks ago, there was an online party for Pampered Chef, which was hosted by Ginger at Not For Nothing Homestead and Michelle from Big Valley Living. And in that, some items were given away. So what I was re-gifted from Suburban Hillbilly was a package of Smoky Applewood rub, and which I don't have now, a cookbook, and then a recipe card came with it. So I went ahead and made it. Let me see if I can show you what it is, what it looks like. Oh, there we go. All right, so it's slow cooker pulled pork sandwiches, Smoky Applewood rub with a pineapple coleslaw. So I went ahead and got those items, but challenge was I had to do a video showing how I did it. So for your entertainment, here you go. And thank you, Suburban Hillbilly. I appreciate it. Not For Nothing Homestead and Big Valley Living. So let's see what we came up with. All right, so as I said in this video, we are making the slow cooker pulled pork sandwiches from Pampered Chef recipe cards, which, just so you can see, that is what the card looks like. And then there's a recipe on the back. Now, this is not my recipe. I will include it, giving it full credit to them. But you get it's not mine. This is something I'm making for the first time with what was provided to me, as I said earlier. So we're going to use the Smoky Applewood seasoning, which will be in this container. And I'm here to tell you the recipe calls for 3.5 tablespoons. That is one of these packets. Okay? So know that ahead of time. Then we're going to use 2 tablespoons of olive oil. We're going to use 1/2 cup of diced onion, which is there. I'm going to use 2 cloves of garlic pressed. Now, I don't have any fresh garlic, so I'm going with the minced garlic that I buy. And I'm going to use 2 teaspoons is what I'm going to use. Then you have fresh orange juice, which is in here. That's what I'll be using. Chicken stock, 1 cup. And then we will be using salt, which will be 1 teaspoon. And then it says a cup of barbecue sauce, plus more for drizzling. I'm using my home canned barbecue sauce. This was canned back in January. What I have in that jar is going to be leftover, but I'm using this guy for what I need right now. So what the recipe does say is at the first point you're going to whisk. Oh, and then we also have 3.5 pounds of boneless pork shoulder. The one that I have has a bone in it, so I cut around it so the bone's in one part, and then my other 2 parts, which you need to cut this into 3 parts. One has the bone, the other 2 do not, but that's fine because the length of time it cooks, it should break it down pretty easy. So I'm gonna modify this a little bit because it says whisk together the rub and the oil in a large bowl, add the pork shoulder, and mix until all the pieces are fully covered. What I'm gonna do though is I'm gonna drizzle the oil over it. And then sprinkle the rub. And then get my gloves. And then I'm going to work it in there. Making sure all the pieces have been coated is what the goal is. Okay, I'm going to get the crock pot ready and then we'll go from there. All right, so we're ready to go ahead and get this started. As always, when you do a crock pot, if you're putting hot food in, put it into a hot crock pot. We're putting cold food in, so we're going to leave it cold. We'll turn it on when we get to that point. So now all I'm doing is placing the pork inside the crock pot. And then it says to place the onions, garlic, orange juice, and stock into the slow cooker. All right, so now we got those things in, we're going to go ahead and put the lid on. And this will go on low for 8 hours. And when that's done, we will bring you back and we'll go over what the next step is. Okay, so now we're going to get the coleslaw going. And now we're going to add the vinegar, which is 1 teaspoon of apple cider vinegar. I'm going to get 1/3 cup of mayonnaise. Okay. I believe it's a 4th teaspoon of salt, 4th teaspoon of black pepper. And those things we're going to whisk together. I'm going to add in our 4 cups of coleslaw. I'm using coleslaw mix just to make it easier. We're going to toss it until it's all covered and combined. And then the final touch, 1 cup of thinly sliced pineapple. Okay, so this is pineapple coleslaw is what we're making here. Okay. So you're supposed to do this at 45 minutes before the meat getting done. That's about where we're at. And then we'll come back when it's done. All right, so meat's done. I pulled it out, put it into a container, and now I have to add the finishing touches, which is salt, which was measured out earlier, and barbecue sauce. Okay, so once the meat's all shredded up, then this is the process you go to. And then I'm going to show you how we plate it and then do a taste test. And you're just trying to make sure everything gets coated. That salt gets stirred around. All right, so we're going to use some very soft rolls. These are made at our local bakery today. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and take some of that meat. Some of that coleslaw. And do the same on the others. Some of that meat. This all smells really good. Now, I've tasted the coleslaw, and I would have made more of a sauce for it personally, but it has a good flavor, and I think it's going to go good with this meat. So keeping it as true to this recipe as I can. So that's the other reason. So. All right. So I'm going to get you turned around and then we'll go ahead and do the taste test. Those look wonderful. All right, so here we go. Let's see what they taste like. It's subtle, but it's still there. You get the apple, barbecue sauce, coleslaw. You get the cold punch of the cabbage and the pineapple. It all goes good together. This was good. I'm really glad. I want to thank Michelle, Big Valley Living, Ginger, and Not For Nothing Homestead, and of course, Suburban Hillbilly. Thank you for regifting these items to me because it's been good, been well worth it. So I appreciate it, and we're going to the cookbook next. So we'll see you next week with whatever we come up with out of that. So thank you. You guys have a great day.